I have the translation that Venerable Bhikkhuni has done, and I have the book with me. I will read it out. Is that all right?
Yeah, that will be fine.
Okay. Let me start. Sangha Guna, virtues of enlightened Sangha. Buddha's disciples are the Sangha. Bhagavato Savaka Sango. There are 9 attributes. Yadidan Chattari Purisa Yugani Atta Purisa Puggala. The 8 noble men are the ones established in 4 Maggapala. They are the Arya Savaka. They may be
Yeah, suddenly
male and female.
we didn't hear a few words of what you said. They may be lay people or ordained people. They may be men or women. They are Atta-Purusha Puggala means the 8 noble men. They are the ones Sotapatti, Maggapala, Sakradagami Maggapala, Anagami Maggapala, and Arihat Maggapala. There are 8 of them. The Buddha says they are the real Savakas. Okay? Atta Purisa Pukkala is those 8 people.
Right. Then they go as Purisa, meaning male, the 8 men. We venerate the ordained Sangha with the belief that there may be Arya Sangha among them. Shall I continue?
Yes, they are really the Sammuti Sangha. Sammuti Sangha is they appear to be Sangha, but they may not be Arya Sangha. So it is the Arya Sangha, the 8 noble men that have all the qualities of Supatipanno, Ujjapatipanno and all that. But you can't expect that from Sammuti Sangha. So there may be 1 or 2 or at least among the Sangha, the ordained community, who are Arya Sangha, who belong to the 8 noble men. Atta-Purisa-Pukkala. They are the ones who have the qualities of the Sangha that the Buddha speaks about. Okay?
Right. So that is what Sangha means, a community. There are 4 communities, Bhikkhu, Bhikkhuni, Upasaka, Upasika. Any one of the community could be Arya Sangha who have the specific virtues of sainthood. By taking the 3 refuges, Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, Sanghang Saranang Gacchami, one becomes a disciple of his own conviction because of listening and comprehending the Dhamma. Magga Phala are 2 thought moments that arise and pass away consecutively. One Magga thought and one Phala thought. Hence, Akalika, without any time lapse in between. It is timeless.
Magga
Shall I
Pala are 2 thought moments. Magga is the last step on the Magga. Pala is the first step of the Pala. So, path and fruit. Magga Pala are 2 thought moments. Then the Magga is one of the Purisa, Pala is another Purisa. So there are 2 individuals. One who is on the Magga, that one thought moment, and Pala is the one who has achieved the fruits. So Magga Pala are 2 thought moments, consecutive 2 thought moments. Magga is the last step of the Magga. Okay?
Okay, it goes on to say, Bhikkhuni, Later commentators say that Magga is an individual who starts training on the path. But this is not tenable because it is timeless, akalika, meaning that there is no time lapse in between Magga and Pala. Later commentators also say that the dispensation will last only 1,000 years because females have joined the order. This is not tenable either because the Buddha has assured that the dispensation will last so long as disciples maintain the practice and the world will not be free of arahants. Nasunyato loke arahantehi.
That is, the Buddha has said that so long as people practice, there is a possibility to become Arahant. So there is no time limit for the dispensation. So now is an ideal time for us to practice because we can always get into this Magga Pala. Okay?
It is over 2,500 years since the Buddha passed away. Therefore, the Dhamma written down must be scrutinized with circumspect. The Buddha has said in the 4 Apadana, do not believe by hearsay or just because it is written in books or said by masters, etc. The pristine Dhamma is not contradictory.
It's not contradictory. The Dhamma is never contradictory. No science can ever disprove the Dhamma. Okay?
Okay. So I'll move on. One must believe only if it is factual, not contradictory, logical and acceptable, intellectual.
One must believe only if it is logical, factual, and you can understand it and it is not contradictory. So because even the written word and what the interpretation over the years can be not the same as the original Buddha word. So you have to be very circumspect. What is the Buddha word? This does not look like Buddha word. It happened to me many times when I was doing Vinaya, Bhikkhuni Vinaya, and I found many interpolations by later masters because they were against the Bhikkhuni order right from the time that the Buddha passed away. So they interpolated different things. When I did the research, I realized so many contradictions in the Bhikkhuni Vinaya. Then I pointed them out, but they are in their authentic texts. So I never believed that I will get a PhD because I am contesting their authentic texts. But finally, they did believe that I was right. Okay.
Understand. Right. The 9 attributes of the Arya Sangha are Supatipanno, Ujupatipanno, Nyaya Patipanno, Samichi Patipanno, Ahuneyo, Pahuneyo, Dakhineyo, Anjali Karaniyo, Anuttarang, Punyaketang, Lokasati. I will start with the first one, Supatipanno. Patipanna means the practice, pratipatti. The disciples of the Buddha practice higher virtues such as Adisila, Adichitta, Adipanya. They keep to the precepts of practice that take them on the path to Nibbana. There were others who practiced rituals such as living as a dog to give up craving, by eating from the ground, walking on hands and feet, doing penance. But because their thinking and behaving is dog-like, it is of wrong view, and hence they were born as dogs or in hell, said the Buddha. There were others observing different types of rituals, Sila Vruta. The disciples of the Buddha practice Samatha Vipassana and keep the precepts of practice for the ending of craving. The Sotapatti gives up the fetters. Silabbata Paramasa is that kind of ritual of other masters. Shall I move on, Bhikkhuni?
Yes, then there are those Nikantayas who lived naked ascetics. They also thought by giving pain and suffering and not wearing clothes that they are able to get rid of their defilements. So Buddha said they are all Sila Vrutta. They are wrong. Sila means they believe it is a good thing, but it is not. It is not those are rites and rituals which must be abandoned. That's what the Buddha said. Okay?
Okay. The second virtue is Ujupatipanno. Disciples of the Buddha take the straight road, the short and direct and honest road without delay. They are not crooked. And on the eightfold path. Hence, Ujupatipanno. One has to take the determination, I shall do this, I shall not do this, in practice. There were other disciples who took to self-mortification or sensual pleasure, which is the wrong practice. Buddha's disciples take to the practice of mindfulness according to the four Satipatthana. They give up attachment to the five aggregates. They see anicca, dukkha, anatta of body and mind and of the aggregates. They practice controlling of observing sense objects. Example, sights, sounds, smell, taste, touch, and memory of past and future.
That is controlling the sensory stimulation. That just because the eye is there, you don't see everything. You see only what you want to see. You don't see everything. Just because the ear is there, you don't hear everything. You hear only what you want to hear. So, because these sensors are open, they are open to anything and everything. So the Buddha said, be controlled in your senses. That is to say, don't take in everything that you see, hear, smell, taste, touch, or what the memory brings. You have to sift it and take only what is necessary and good. Rest of it is tosh. Don't take it. That is sensory control, sense control. That is that Buddha advised not to control the senses. Just because the senses are there, don't use them indiscriminately. Okay?
Okay. It goes on, Bhikkhuni, to explain the ordained community lives by alms and do not accept gold and silver, animals, etc. They do not live by deception or plunder, etc. They have to be satisfied with little, not possess many things and carry much weight. They go about like the birds who carry only the weight of wings, carrying only bowl and robes. They do not observe minor details of others, features such as hair, eyes, walk, etc., that entice them.
Yeah, that's the Sangha Guna you are talking about. That the ordained community are very careful about their behavior. Okay?
Yes, they practice sati sampajanna. Okay, so they spend the day developing meditation, samadhi, and samatha vipassana.
So
Some
these are the
practice.
monks, sorry, these are the monks who were living during that time, who were really bound for Nibbana. So they didn't live a worldly life, they lived a very virtuous life, and they are the Sangha, having the Sangha Guna. Okay?
Okay. Some practice Dutanga, ascetic practices, which the Buddha acclaimed as helping towards the practice. There are 13 Dutanga practices. One
Duta.
may Dutanga.
Yes.
One may practice one or many. Example, Pansukulika, wearing patched robes picked up that have been thrown away, covering corpses, etc. There are quite a few of them, Bhikkhuni. Shall I read them out or will you?
Yeah, there are quite a lot of them, 13 of them, just for information. That is people, monks who are Pansukulika. Pansu means pus, means dust. Dust laden, thrown away clothes. They stitch and wash and make robes. So they don't wear good and new robes. They wear only those patched robes, which they, but during the time of the Buddha, clothes were very difficult to get. So, not like now, but now nobody does that pansakolika because clothes are easily, robes are available. Okay,
Okay. Shall I move on to Nyaya
yes,
Patipanno?
yeah. Those are,
Oh,
are you doing all of the, those
I
can
can,
come
I
later.
can, the Dutangas are here, Bhikkhuni. I can read them out. Shall I do that?
Okay, if you like.
Okay. So one is Pansakulika, you explained. The next one is Techi Varikanga.
Echivarikanga means Tulsiura. They have to, these are really meant for monks. Maybe we will say it later on because this is a lay society we are talking to. Maybe
Okay.
you get on with that others. If there
Nyaya
is time, you
Patipanda.
can. Yes,
Yes. Okay.
yes.
So the third virtue is Nyaya Patipanna. They
Uh,
follow the law, the Nyaya, the eightfold path, the middle way, avoiding the extremes of self mortification and sensual pleasures. They believe in rebirth. They get rid of fetters and defilements. They practice so that it takes them towards Nibbana, the ending of suffering.
that is
Nyaya,
Yeah, that is Nyaya. They always follow the law. Law means the Eightfold Path. So Nyaya Patipanno are those monks who follow the Eightfold Path and then they become enlightened Arahant. That's the Nyaya Patipanno. They who follow the path, the law. Okay?
okay. The fourth virtue is Samichi Patipanna, showing respect to elderly, good and noble people by attending to their needs, being at their service, speaking words of comfort and friendliness, working with loving kindness, compassion, altruistic joy, and equanimity in an approvable way. In an appropriate way.
So this Samichi කියන්නේ ගරු කරන්න කියන එක. So Samichi Patipanno is the monks, the real good monks, are kind and they respect each other. They speak with in moderation. They don't shout. They speak and then they behave very well. Samichi mean giving respect and becoming humble and good that is Samichi, Satutu Samichi. That is, you are relaxed with people. You are not on a high pedestal. You meet people at in a easy way. Okay.
Okay, there's a little bit more there.
Hmm.
They do not overdo or underdo. Monks do not cultivate by cutting down trees, digging soil, etc. They eat what is served only. They take the discipline happily. They are kind and courteous. Their conduct is blameless. Supporting the ordained community amounts to the long standing of Dhamma.
Hmm.
Okay. The fifth virtue is Ahuneya. The disciples of the Buddha are worthy of getting gifts, carrying them from far. People give regularly. They deserve gifts. They give gifts of food and drink of best quality, better than what they themselves eat and drink. They give with respect.
So these Arya Sangha can receive any good gift given by the lay people. That is Ahuneya. Okay.
Okay. Then Pahuneya is the disciples offer gifts fit for guests of honor, unlike gifts given to the poor and beggars. They get more merit. By giving the monks and nuns, the enlightened Sangha may be found among them.
So you have to give them with respect, not like giving a beggar who is asking something. So you give monks with respect. They deserve the respect because they are virtuous in their conduct. Okay.
Okay. The seventh virtue is Dakkineya. Those that believe in rebirth and karma give gifts to monks and nuns because they get more merit than giving others. It yields results now and in the future births.
That is to say, when you support the Sangha, the Dhamma will be alive in the world. But if you support old people or animals, or you can give anybody. But giving the Sangha is very special because you support the community. That means they will carry the Dhamma ahead, and they will also uh, themselves they will practice the Dhamma, and that means when you give the Sangha, it is better than giving anybody else. So there's more merit in giving Sangha than giving other people or animals. Okay.
Yes, there is the Buddha speaks of dana kata, which is a basic requirement that leads towards virtue and concentration of the mind, free of defilements. Those that are not generous cannot develop virtue and concentration.
So dana kata is giving. Giving is good to anybody, but it gets greater merit by giving the Sangha. Okay.
Okay. The eighth quality virtue is Anjali Karaniya. People worship and show respect by worshipping with clasped hands on the head. They respect by worshipping the disciples of the Buddha,
So
especially with shaven head.
yeah, with the shaven-headed monks are respected. People worship them at their feet. Even today in Sri Lanka, we find that they don't treat like in equal terms, but the monks are specially well treated. They are worshipped, and then people respect them. So that is Anjali Karaniyo. Anjali means Angili. The with folded arms, you respect the mm, the monks with fold with their head with their hand on their head, they worship the Sangha. That is Anjali Karaniya means Anjali is Anjali with the uh, uh, with worship they respect the Sangha. Okay.
There's a little bit more, Bhikkhuni, about worshipping mother and father and elders are specially mentioned. They are not treated in equal terms because children are indebted to parents for their upbringing.
Mm. Yes, not only to the Sangha, but even to parents and elders, we have to show respect because they are more educated and they have helped us a great deal. So, generally, we don't treat them like equals. You have to treat them as a, a superior. So, parents, monks, elders, you can't, but in America and these places, they are called teacher by their first name, but not here in Sri Lanka in the Buddhist parlance. The teacher is a highly respected person. The doctor, the teacher, and all those people are highly respected, and especially the parents and elders and relations, elderly relations. They make uh, uh, they always respect elderly relations and parents because the parents have done so much, and also these relations have a special binding to us, unlike outsiders. So somehow relations are also elders. We have to care for them. Okay.
Sadhu, sadhu. There's one, the last virtue is Anuttarang Punya Kettang. It means it is a supreme field of merit that yields great harvests. Just as one sows seed in fertile field and gets a bigger harvest, one may give the four requisites to the Sangha and expect great benefits in terms of merit. Giving clothes, robes, food, dwelling, and medicine are the four requisites to the Sangha. It also means that giving dana to others, example, children's homes, old age homes, is good, but not as much as giving the enlightened Sangha because they keep the Dhamma alive in the world.
Thank you very much for all the help you are giving me and making it a nice Sunday morning discussion. So now we share merit with the divine beings. Akasatta Chabumata Devanaga Maitika Punyantang Anumoditva Chilang Rakantu Lokasasana. May the divine beings share the merit that we have made during this 1 hour. Our minds were free from greed, hatred, and ignorance. Our minds were full of non-greed, non-hate, and wisdom. So we have made good karma, which we now offer to the divine beings to share and be happy with our merit that we are giving, and may they protect the world, especially at this crisis period. Thank you very much.